Gain structure is everything. It's your norm. You have to have something that's your norm in order to have a reference point. And if your gain structure is off, you're not going to have a proper reference point, and you're going to be running the faders too low and you're not going to have any room to move, or you're going to be too high up and you're not going to have room to move. You've really got to know where that midpoint is. Setting up gain structure on a console, for me, what I do is I bring the fader up at 0. I start everything at 0. The masters are at 0, the fader comes up at 0, and then I bring the trim in. If the fader's up at 0 and it's just blasting loud already and you haven't even turned up the trim, then you know, okay, I need to either use a pad or maybe I'll bring the masters down to compensate. But if it's set up properly, you can bring everything up to 0 and then you can bring the trims up to the level right before it peaks, and then you can back it off. And that should be a really good point to be at, where you can move the fader and you can actually hear the change when you move the fader and you have room to move. If you're getting too much signal coming into the channel, either the microphone is too hot, or if you're dealing with a direct line, there's too much signal coming from the direct line, be a keyboard or a DI box or something. If it's coming from an electronic instrument like a keyboard, you can ask the keyboard player to turn down their gain on their keyboard, because sometimes they might have it totally cranked and it's just not giving you the headroom to be able to move. And they can turn it down and then you can bring your trim up. If it's on a microphone, if the microphone doesn't actually have a pad built in, some mics have pads, and then you can pad the microphone 10 or 20 dB depending, maybe you need to try a different microphone because it's just picking up too much signal, or maybe you need to move the microphone and give it a little more space. Placement is everything. I mean, close miking, of course, in live sound is an important thing, you know, because of bleed, but if you can't even use it because it's peaking out too soon, then you've got to either move it back or find a different microphone that's not quite so sensitive.